The geologist was collecting samples. He was accidentally bitten by a venomous snake. Seeing this, he quickly pulled out his phone to call for help, but in his panic he couldn't hold it steady. The phone fell directly into a crack in the rocks. Helpless Nick could only suck the venom from the wound with his mouth. Then, while his mind was still clear, he quickly ran back to the cabin in the woods, to avoid fainting outside and being devoured by passing beasts. Soon his breathing grew rapid, and his consciousness became blurry. Before long he couldn't hold on anymore, and completely passed out. In his daze, Nick felt as if someone had come looking for him, but after seeing his physical condition, they not only didn't come in to help but instead left quickly. Nick seemed to vaguely hear some strange words.
He's sick, let's go.
Meanwhile, Nick's mother, unable to reach him for a long time, went silent after sending one final farewell message. But in his constant haze, Nick had no time to care. Only when his body reached its limit would he barely wake up to drink some water. Fortunately, Nick finally woke up from his coma. Without a phone, he didn't know how much time had passed. He only realized that not only was he fine, but even the wound on his hand had completely healed. Nick thought it was the first aid he did earlier that worked, but to be safe, he still decided to go to the hospital for a checkup. But then he suddenly saw that his car was already covered in dust. Nick didn't think much of it when he saw this. He simply wiped it off and drove straight to the hospital. But upon entering the town, he strangely discovered that the streets, which should have been lively, were now deserted, and the roads were full of supplies, scattered from people fighting over them. It wasn't until Nick saw a corpse on the ground that he finally realized something was wrong. The corpse's skin had turned dark and black. The flies circling constantly around it proved even more that the person had been dead for a long time. Although he didn't know what exactly had happened, the tragic scenes all around clearly showed that something terrible had happened. Thinking of this, he quickly drove home, and it was through the radio that he learned he had been in a coma for 3 weeks. During this time, a terrifying virus had broken out in the world. This virus not only spreads quickly, but also has an extremely high fatality rate. The infected will die within a few days. Feeling unbelievable, he hurried back home, but the tragic state of his parents instantly made him face reality. Nick believed there must still be other survivors like him, but after searching the town for days, all he saw were remains everywhere. So he decided to head to the big city to look, but despairingly, the city was also eerily quiet at the moment, although most electrical equipment still kept running without anyone maintaining it. The bright lights now looked extremely unsettling, and after failing to find anyone, Nick finally gave in. Exhausted, he soaked in an outdoor hot spring at a 5-star hotel, then walked back naked and poured himself a drink. But just then,
Make mine a double.
unexpectedly, after he had given up, he ran into other survivors. Seeing this, Nick hurriedly covered himself in embarrassment, and after their explanation, he finally understood everything.